Thanks for joining us for this August edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm Brianna Strunk.
And I'm Jim Hamill.
And in this edition, we're talking a bit about going back to school and what the classroom setting is going to look like, plus answering some of your most asked questions.
That's right, Brianna. And plus, we're also going to introduce you to a lot of the educational opportunities throughout the Poconos, 4 counties, and have a lot of fun doing it along the way. But first, we want to find out what's been making headlines in the Poconos. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported the beloved Mahoning Drive-In Theater was rescued from plans to put up a solar panel farm. Fans banded together and flooded social media to convince the company, with plans to replace the outdoor theater, to cancel them.
So, showtime!
The Mahoning Drive-In will now be sticking around for some time longer.
An outdoor concert venue is bringing music lovers together to experience music from all over the world.
WNEP-TV featured this brand new outdoor music venue in Hawley. Harmony in the Woods offers a large amphitheater surrounded by trees and nature, with performances from bands all over the world.
And love her forever over others.
Now they're making it as easy as possible to transition over to ESU if they'd like to continue their education.
WFMZ was on campus for the partnership between East Stroudsburg University and Northampton Community College, virtually guaranteeing admission for NCC students with an associate's degree to ESU. Those students would then enter their junior year as Warriors.
Check out this Reader's Digest article on the USA's 13 coolest indoor water parks. Great Wolf Lodge, Kalahari, and Camelback's Aquatopia all made the cut. No matter what the weather brings, it's always bathing suit season here in the Poconos.
And it was a third-place finish for a woman from the Poconos at Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. The morning call featured the eating feat of Laurel Marie Mealy of Long Pond, who ate nearly 19 hot dogs in 10 minutes at the Coney Island contest. Congrats to Laurel Marie. Welcome back, I'm Jim Hamill. For generations now, vacation rentals have been a huge part of the Pocono Mountains, and only of late, with the advent of things like Airbnb and VRBO, have folks called into question some of the regulations pertaining to those vacation rentals. And so we wanted to find out what are some of the issues facing owners and those who oversee some of the townships and property owners associations that manage those vacation rentals on a daily basis. Do you hear that? Peace and quiet at Mount Maplewood Lodge in Lake Naomi. And that's exactly how owner Ricky Cortez likes it.
The investment is multi-level in the sense that, you know, we use it often. We're here with our family, but we also want to be able to offset the costs when we're not here and then eventually retire here as well.
Ricky has been renting this place out for some time now, and always with a focus on families and vetting guests to make sure it's the right fit for everyone, including his neighbors.
And I always tell my guests too, it's so gorgeously quiet at night and you'll love it, and that's just a hint of we want you to love it that way too.
Ricky and many of us in the Poconos are aware of the issues short-term rentals have presented in the recent past, as the popularity of Airbnb and VRBO and others has grown. But short-term rentals are nothing new for a Pocono country place, a massive community that has already experienced the growing pains communities are now facing.
With 4,100 single-family homes, we watched it go from about 86, maybe 100 over the last 5 or 10 years of legal rentals to now we're probably about 150, and that's continuing to increase.
Kathleen Dunn, community manager at Pocono Country Place, admits there have been bumps in the road with respect to short-term rentals over the years, but points to regulations that strive to help everyone coexist.
We formed a short-term rental committee, and we really did a saturation of communication in our newsletter, in our media, our Facebook page. We were able to make those who were not in favor of short-term rentals understand the short-term rentals, and those that were short-term rentals understand how they have to be regulated and to conform.
Now, when there's an issue, whether it's noise, garbage, or anything else, a Pocono Country Place can enforce those rules, either with public safety or with the possibility of losing the ability to keep renting. The same is true for municipalities. Judy Acosta handles zoning for numerous townships, including Middle Smithfield and Pocono. And every township or borough is a bit different.
If you can find the right regulations to put in place as a municipality and then enforce those regulations, I think you're able to find that perfect medium space where you can, both sides are benefiting from the short-term rentals being in the area and also being regulated so it's not a nuisance.
Some of those regulations address how many people can stay at one time, or trash removal, or even a big one for many, noise. When resources are slim on the local level to enforce these ordinances, short-term rental owners, including Ricky Cortez, are putting measures in place to ensure his guests stay quiet with technology, a device that measures decibel levels for him.
It sends them a message if they get above a certain level and a phone call, and it says, hey, just keep it down. This is getting to be above the level that's acceptable for this area.
Ricky and his family also have outdoor cameras to keep an eye on how many vehicles are in the driveway, and also have a code of conduct that stresses keeping a proper balance and staying neighborly.
It's quiet hours at 10 p.m. and it's strictly enforced. So if that's not right for you, come back, when you have your young one. And you can't stay up past 10 p.m.
At arguably the biggest private community in the Poconos, Kathleen Dunn agrees with that approach and doesn't believe short-term rentals should be stopped, just governed.
A lot of times, there is that party house. And it does happen. But as long as if we are reactive to it immediately, that really helps. We get in touch with the owner, let them know, this is how you need to comply. This is what you need to do. You need to have X, Y, Z in place. And that X, Y, Z sets them up for success, not only for them financially, but also to be welcomed within the community.
As we featured in a previous installment of the series, short-term rentals are big contributors to the local economy, helping to sustain jobs and a big chunk of the tax base. The Pocono Mountains Association of Realtors encourages everyone to educate themselves on the issues. You can find out more at their website, PoconoRealtors.com. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network. Still to come on Pocono Mountains Magazine, we are headed back into the classroom.
Health and school officials show us what to expect for the upcoming school year.
We'll be right back.
ESU today, med school tomorrow. ESU today, law school tomorrow. ESU today, entrepreneur tomorrow. ESU today, exercise physiologist tomorrow. ESU today, success tomorrow. East Stroudsburg University, where warriors belong.
Welcome back to Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm Jim Hamill.
And I'm Brianna Strunk.
And this is the Back to School episode. And so Pocono Mountains Magazine wanted to ask some questions of folks who are going to be going back to school in the fall. So folks from the school district as well as healthcare leaders.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to some folks from St. Luke's and the Stroudsburg Area School District to see what's in store for the school year. Let's head in.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jim Hamill here at Stroudsburg Area High School, and as Brianna and I just mentioned, we are talking about going back to school this fall. And I'm joined with two folks from St. Luke's University Health Network who know quite a bit about healthcare and, of course, about the settings that people are in, like the classroom and the school districts. To my left, the president of St. Luke's Monroe campus, Don Seipel, and to my right, Dr. Lindy Sebastino. She is a pediatrician here in the Poconos. And you folks both understand quite a bit about, what we've all endured over the last year and all the masking needed and required and the social distancing. And Doctor, I'll turn to you first to kind of pose the question, what should students and teachers take into account when they're trying to mitigate the spread of any germs, including the cold, the flu, and the coronavirus, which, younger people are still susceptible to that, considering that they're possibly not qualified to have the vaccine as well?
So, sure. Certainly we have learned a lot from the pandemic about how we can do better about, not spreading germs as much. Washing hands carefully all the time after you're touching things. Using your hand sanitizer if it's available, and also perhaps wearing a mask in certain, situations. One of the things that the mask does definitely help you with is, you would be amazed how many times you touch your face and you're touching surfaces and then touching your face. And so the mask, even if it may not necessarily be, helping with every single type of respiratory virus, it helps you to not touch your face and your mouth and your nose as much.
So that is one factor that people can still utilize, maybe by choice or potentially even just as a precautionary thing in these classroom settings. Just anecdotally, have you heard of a lot of transmission or come to know that there was a lot of transmission in school settings over the last year, even when people were in class?
It really depends on the age group. So the younger kids really are not known to be spreaders, and they mostly, if they did get COVID, they got it from their parents at home, because there's more kissing, hugging, those kind of things at home going on. So the little kids really didn't get it in the classroom. But the older kids, some of them possibly got it from school, possibly from sports, but more likely from when they were working or if they were having social gatherings. So that's where we were seeing a lot of the older teens coming in with COVID. They admitted that they had gone to a party or they were hanging out with friends or something like that.
So it's still important to carry on those safe practices. If anybody's feeling ill in a setting, don't go to school, don't congregate as well, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. And Don, I know that you've had your finger on the pulse here over the last 16 months or so of the numbers and the counts and the hospitalizations. Where do the Pocono counties stand here this summer, looking towards fall, and especially with all the variants that are out there?
Yeah, right now in the summer months, we're at a very low incidence of COVID, similar to last year. We're probably a little bit lower, and I would attribute that to our vaccination that we've done. Going into the fall this year, I think we're all very interested in what will happen. Last year, what we saw was kind of after Halloween, people went inside, and by mid-November, we started to see an uptick in COVID through the new year. And, this year, we'll be certainly watching at that same point in time, but it's really difficult to say this year. Vaccines certainly have helped, but now with the new variants as well, that's another variable that we're unsure of.
And as you well know, institutions had to kind of always be prepared to change their policies and procedures. So from a healthcare standpoint, is it good for parents and students especially to be prepared to go with the flow? There were a lot of changes at a moment's notice in the last 16 months, and we could continue to possibly see that over the next years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited for the schools in particular this fall to get back to a much more of a normal schedule. But I think as parents and as educators, we'll have to wait and see how this virus unfolds this coming year. And there may be a need to implement some of the measures we did last year just to ensure that our students and our faculty are safe and that we limit the spread of that virus.
Absolutely. And Doctor, when you talk about coming into a school setting, if folks want to kind of find information, where can they go? They can trust their doctor for that information, I would assume.
Absolutely. So we are always there to answer any kind of questions that they may have about, their child going back to school. Should they get the vaccine when it's available to them? And of course, I definitely, agree with that. And then just, when they can go back safely to sports and things like that. But definitely getting back to a normal life for mental health and also for their education is really, really important. So, if we can try to do that safely by washing hands, using hand sanitizer, masking when necessary, I think that this way we can get back to a more, normal sort of life for the kids and the families.
A lot of people have been looking forward to that, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
Doctor,
For sure.
Thank you so very much for your expertise, and Don as well. You both and people in your profession have really kind of helped us all get through this, and we appreciate that, and I'm sure that the school districts appreciate your partnerships with them as well moving forward here into the fall. So for Don and Dr. Sebashino, I'm Jim Hamill. We're going to turn it over to you, Brianna, now to talk to some administrators and school nurses here at Stroudsburg Area High School.
Thanks, Jim. And yes, of course, this is a back to school special, so we wanted to bring in some folks from the Stroudsburg Area School District to give us a little more information about the upcoming school year. We have 3 guests today: Cos Curry, Superintendent of the Stroudsburg Area School District; Sean Thornton, one of the high school social study teachers; and Jillian Hawbrick. She is also in the high school. She's a school nurse here. So thanks so much for being here today. Let's start with Jillian. Jillian, if a kid has a cough or a runny nose, do you recommend them coming into school at this point?
We do not, Brianna. We utilize the Pennsylvania Department of Health's guidelines as to when students should remain home. If primary symptoms such as a cough or a fever, we recommend that the students stay home. If students have 2 or more of minor symptoms, sore throat, runny nose, fatigue, congestion, diarrhea, we recommend that they stay home as well and be evaluated by their pediatrician prior to coming back.
And at this point, depending on the vaccine, children 12 and older are eligible to get vaccinated. So do you recommend that students who are eligible do get vaccinated before coming back to school?
Correct. Children 12 and older are eligible to be vaccinated. As a district, we do strongly recommend students become vaccinated for several reasons. One, they're less likely to get sick. If they do get sick, it's less likely to be severe and develop complications. And the third reason would be that if they're identified as a close contact to someone who has developed COVID, that they would not have to quarantine and not miss school unless they develop symptoms.
And St. Luke's has upcoming vaccination clinics for students, so the perfect opportunity to get vaccinated if you're eligible and have not already. And Sean, just from a teacher perspective, since March 2020, this has been such an adjustment for the students, but also, the teachers. So what has it been like since the pandemic started? I mean, the shift from classroom learning to virtual, that hybrid approach, it's been a lot.
It has been. It's truly been something that no one was prepared for. Didn't matter if you were a teacher your first year in education or your 30th year in education. No part of your process to become a teacher ever even addressed this. And so being thrust into, first of all, having to teach virtually, but then having to teach in a hybrid model posed lots of challenges for people. Fortunately, the school gave us resources and time to work with each other, and really it showed the resilience of teachers to band together and really help each other out.
Teachers across the region really did a great job, so congratulations for kind of coming through that tunnel and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel is really great. And from a teacher perspective, of course, a lot of parents and grandparents and students are wondering what the classroom setting will look like when the students come back. So can you touch on that?
Well, the goal is to return to normal as much as we possibly can. We're going to offer in-person or cyber school. So no teacher will be teaching in a hybrid model any longer. So for most classrooms I know in the Stroudsburg schools, it'll return to normal. Now, whether that's normal for all the students remains to be seen. We've got quite a few students who've been out of the classroom, only learning fully remote since March of 2020. And so we anticipate a certain adjustment for them, certainly more structure, but I'm sure that, we'll all help each other meet that challenge as well.
And that was one of the things that we were talking about prior to this interview. You said structure. A lot of students have not had that. A lot of them have been learning from home. So getting back into the classroom, that's really going to be a huge adjustment.
For sure. One of the things you saw was, for a lot of people who were fully remote, was a considerable drop-off in their work ethic and handing in work and things like that. And the ability to stay on top of them increases tremendously when you're in person. And so, we're hoping to get all those people back on track.
A lot of good information. Thank you for that. And now we'll transition to Kaz. Kaz, the new school year is coming up. Have you gotten a lot of questions from parents about what the classroom and what the school year is going to look like moving forward?
We have, and I believe we're ahead of it. We have a pandemic team comprised of administrators, teachers, support staff, members of the community, Ms. Harbrick, our school nurse. We have medical doctors on our team, and people from administration from the hospital level, in addition to the local 911 and county emergency management agencies. And collectively, there's just over 35 of us, and we meet every 2 weeks and have since the pandemic started. About a year ago this time we formed, and what our goal is to constantly evaluate what the health and safety protocols are coming out and the recommendations from the medical industry to help us. And it was tremendous. Like I can't say enough good about the team, but what we were able to do is address proactively the questions, or in some cases reactively, but for the most part, we've been able to be ahead of things and anticipate what the questions are going to be in developing a health and safety plan. So we have a current health and safety plan in 2020-21 that will retire on August 15th, and then the recommendation will be for the new health and safety plan for the 21-22 school year to go into effect on August 16th. And it will be a constant ebb and flow and change, much like this past year has been. But I couldn't be happier and more proud of our staff, our students, our administration, our board, the community at large. Parents have been fantastic and very supportive. We're going to work on a Q&A for all of the things regarding back to school, like the specific detail of attendance. All right, what happens if my child's absent? And things like that, because those are the burning questions that parents have right now, and we have answers. So we're developing that through the Q&A process rather than in the plan, because the plan is uniquely different than last year's. There's significantly less components required, but we have such experience with it now. Frankly, we know what we want to do, we know what we need to do, and we just need to do it. So we're fortunate and looking forward to it.
And one final question for you, Kaz. Don touched on this earlier in the segment, but there's new variants coming out. You can never predict the future, especially with this pandemic. So is the district prepared to pivot if needed?
Absolutely. With our recommendations in our health and safety plan, based on even the latest CDC guidance, we are developing a really focused on community transmission levels, being low, moderate, or substantial. And our plan will address all components of everything we've done this past year. And being the fact that we're in low as a county right now is fantastic. As a community, we're low, it's fantastic. And we can, the recommendations that we're making is to benefit the health and safety of all while providing comfort, okay, in the learning and in the process of instruction. And what our goal is to monitor that very closely, and not just county rates, but in the district itself, in our schools. If there are positive cases, are they community spread based on contact tracing, or are they school spread? And if they're school spread, it will certainly have a greater impact on our decision making than if they are community spread. And we're going to monitor that closely, but we're really focusing heavily on a plan in low and moderate. And then if we end up going back to substantial based on this variant and some of the unknowns that we won't know till it happens. And we're right now we're poised and planning, coming back 5 days a week, full instruction, regular bell schedule, following all the procedures and protocols we followed in a pre-COVID era. And the differences would be the mitigation strategies of hand washing, ventilation, cleaning, as Jillian described, the symptom checks, and just encouraging people in a culture of caring. Don't come to school if you're sick. Stay home. Okay, you can learn asynchronously that day, and it will count as your day of attendance as long as you get your work in. All right, so it can't be, well, I'll do it 3, 4, 5 days from now. You got to take care of business. And if you're truly sick, our attendance policy kicks in. Parents can write a note up to the first 10 days. If you're absent 3 or more, you need a doctor's note. Days 1 through 10 absence, parents can write a note. Day 11 and subsequent absences, you must have a doctor's note, period. It's real simple. And so we're ready to pivot as needed and to just put into effect our policies and plans. And looking forward to it. We can't wait.
A lot of great information. And we should point out, of course, from daycare all the way up to the higher education, the high school, university, the policies really depend on the institution. Every different institution is doing something different, but that's the take here for the Stroudsburg Area School District. Kaz, Sean, and Jillian, thank you so much for taking some time for us today to inform the community. We'll be right back.
Still to come on Pocono Mountains Magazine, we'll show you some of the different options students have when they're looking for an education, whether it be high school or higher ed.
Plus, a long journey leads to a restful stop in the Poconos. Find out how this small borough makes a big impact this time of year.
Medical emergencies can and do happen during COVID-19.
One American has a heart attack or stroke every 40 seconds.
And one American dies from stroke every 4 minutes.
Heart attacks and strokes will not wait until a pandemic runs its course.
It is not safe to sit home and hope the symptoms pass. It is safe to come to St. Luke's.
Our EMS crews and ambulances
are ready for you, taking every measure to keep you safe.
We're trying to see Chris and Molly.
Yeah, they're so busy with this magazine.
Kevin, I need you.
Yeah, Molly, it's the third year and we did it.
Yeah, third time's the charm. We're showing you even more great restaurants, outdoor adventures, and girls' getaways. And all the new stuff.
Yeah, new stuff.
Why not get your own copy of Pocono Mountains Magazine at PoconoMountains.com.
Welcome back, I'm Jim Hamill. When we're talking about heading back to school in the Pocono Mountains, well, now there are many, many more opportunities for students to do a little bit more of a non-traditional learning environment, including Monroe Career Technical Institute. It's where students can get a leg up on the competition if they're heading right into the workforce after graduation. The hallways at Monroe Career and Technical Institute are a lot like any other high school. But the classrooms are at times a lot like where these students will be working when they head into the real world.
MCTI is a very diverse industry, so you could have many different skills if it's culinary, hospitality, criminal justice.
Amanda Jarzovic is close to graduating with a skill set designed to help her in a career in the hospitality and restaurant industry. After all, it's among the biggest employers in the Poconos, and these students learn firsthand what it's like to work at a bakery, hotel, or anything in between.
What I learned there is the basics of almost everywhere in a hotel, like the front desk, housekeeping, security. We do different tests.
Savannah Marino is sporting her Great Wolf Lodge gear. She's been taking part in a co-op for juniors and seniors, where students go to work and it counts toward their school requirements at MCTI. Now, working roughly 40 hours per week has given Savannah some firsthand knowledge of the job and what she might want to do for a living.
With me growing in the program, I have the basics of almost every hotel. Every hotel has a front desk, security, housekeeping, and the basics are kind of the same, it's just they do things differently.
The opportunities at MCTI don't stop there. Students even get their hands dirty fixing motors, which could come in handy if they choose to work for one of the many outdoor attractions that feature UTVs and similar equipment.
We usually do mowers, push mowers, weed whackers, blowers, all these sort of. Now we're moving to dirt bikes, ATVs, UTVs, and motorcycles.
Back in the kitchen, these MCTI students are on the front lines of a very real restaurant operation. Various stations in the kitchen allow them to experience everything from start to finish.
It gives that opportunity in here, especially like it shows the different areas of being a chef, but it also gives like hands-on activities to show like how to do certain things and what to do and all those different things.
Hey, have you been looking for a great job that pays well with great perks?
Check it out. The Poconos has great jobs available right now.
If you've been paying attention lately, there is a big need for a new generation of workers in hospitality and tourism in the Pocono Mountains. And schools such as Monroe Career and Technical Institute are the ideal spot to get experience and come to understand what students want to do when they graduate.
When I was little, I used to bake and cook a lot, so I kind of just grew a passion for that. And ever since then, it's really what I've wanted to do. And when I heard that there was a program for that here, I thought, why not? It's an opportunity for something bigger in the world, maybe later on.
And if you're not planning to go to college, you have the experience you already need to go into the workforce straight away, or even open up a business if you want by yourself or with other people. It's pretty good.
If you or your child are interested in learning more about MCTI, head to monroecti.org to learn all about the programs offered and how they prepare the workforce of tomorrow. For many, many years now, teenagers have had an opportunity to work at some of the family resorts here in the Poconos, including here at Woodloch Resort, learning the ropes. And now East Stroudsburg University has an internship program for its students, and so we tagged along with one of those students as she did her internship here at Woodloch.
100 to service coordinator.
Ever since she was in high school, Elizabeth Bonici has dreamed of working in hospitality, and now she's one step closer to her dream coming true.
My ultimate goal would become an event planner. I would just absolutely love to get to help people enjoy their special day, especially weddings. That would be a dream come true for me.
Before she gets there, Elizabeth is majoring in hotel, restaurant, and tourism management at East Stroudsburg University, and her internship this semester has her at the front desk at Woodloch Resort. Just one way she's getting the necessary experience in her desired field.
So here at Woodloch, I predominantly am doing my internship at the front desk. But I've also had the opportunity to get to work in other departments such as reservations, housekeeping, group sales, the kitchen, and the dining room as well.
Elizabeth is one of many students who come through the hotel, restaurant, and tourism management courses here at ESU, with a focus on everything from food and beverage to data analytics and resort management.
We partner with industry as much as possible. We all the students have to do an internship, and we like to place them in local resorts around the Poconos.
Professors at ESU help guide these students to the career path best for them. In the kitchen, students run the entire operation, a fully functioning restaurant on campus, picking the menu, prepping, and then serving the guests.
We also have internship fairs and job fairs as well, where people from the industry come to ESU and they'll speak to us. We also get to go on tours at nearby casinos, resorts, wineries, which is really awesome experience as well. So we get to see into the back of the house of the industry and really get to decide what we like to do.
University leaders have seen such a demand for students going into the hospitality industry, they have expanded the course offerings to include a data analytics course, a deep dive on the numbers that gauge how the industry is faring and where it is going. And that is ideal for the Pocono Mountains, a major destination for millions of visitors every year.
There is more of the trend that is focusing on data. Currently, because due to the pandemic, more and more so that we are focusing in this area, as we can analyze the hotel performance, the trend analysis, the frequencies, that how many guests are coming in, how much do they pay, and also projecting and also forecasting future trends.
Through a partnership with the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau, a new internship with the PMVB will immerse the students in analyzing the data region-wide. Plus, there are 3 minors offered to students: hotel restaurant tourism, event planning management, and park management.
There's a huge demand for hospitality workers here in the Poconos. A lot of people are looking for jobs, and they're actually, quite good jobs. They're paying more to attract top talent.
And with a 95% plus placement rate for seniors leaving ESU with these skills and talents, the future is bright for the industry and for partnerships within it. As for Elizabeth, she's right at home at Woodloch and ESU, picking both because of the Poconos' reputation for hospitality.
And when I was looking around, I saw that the Poconos had so many different opportunities to get to be really in the middle of hospitality. So I thought, what better place to come than what is known as one of the hearts of hospitality.
To find out more about the program that can put students in position for a great future in hospitality and tourism, head to esu.edu. Look for the Hotel, Restaurant, and Tourism Management page under Academics in the menu, and under Programs and Majors. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
Kalahari Area Resorts and Conventions here in the Poconos has created something that you can't find anywhere else in the country. We'll show you how it works next.
And we are picking up the Poconos this fall. Find out how you can sign up for one of the biggest cleanup efforts in the entire area all year long.
The Great Pocono Raceway Air Show is back. Don't miss it. See a World War II plane dogfight. Watch the Super Chipmunk tumble and spin in midair. The Geico Sky Typers will paint the sky. And the United States Air Force Thunderbirds will rock you out of your seats with their precision and speed. Tickets start at $20 for adults and $10 for kids 12 and under. Go to PoconoAirshow.com for tickets.
Is it breathtaking? Or is it a wonderful picnic with friends and family featuring farm-to-table cuisine? Or is it romance under the stars? Or is it just dining in the Pocono Mountains, where there are the best places to dine outdoors this summer? We've always been here, and we always will be. Feel the comfort again when you visit the Pocono Mountains. Find us at PoconoMountains.com.
There are so many different hiking trails throughout the Pocono Mountains, including here in Delaware Water Gap. The Appalachian Trail is a great place to spend the day, but for others, the journey is much longer. 3 months ago, Heather O'Connell took a leap of faith. She left her stable teaching job in Spain to hit the Appalachian Trail.
I love getting to see nature on foot. It's in human time, so you get to kind of take it all in slowly.
The trail runs from Georgia to Maine and typically takes hikers around 6 months to complete. Delaware Water Gap is about a halfway point, and that's where we met Heather.
It is so close to the trail that it's convenient. Sometimes you have to hitchhike into towns or walk further, and this one you could just walk to easily.
Presbyterian Church of the Mountain in Delaware Water Gap provides a complimentary hostel for hikers to sleep, shower, and do laundry of sorts.
If they're out there, they're late, so.
In the summer, the church also offers a free hiker's dinner every Thursday.
It's our mission of hospitality, and we're a donation only. So a lot of centers you have to pay before you get in the door and things like that. We don't do that.
We caught up with Mike Stone at the hostel as he hitched a ride to stock up on supplies. Mike appreciates that Delaware Water Gap is hiker friendly, and during his time here is patronizing local businesses like Village Farmer and Bakery.
It's literally 0.2 miles off the trail, so it doesn't get much easier.
The Appalachian Trail hosts a variety of people. Through hikers travel the entire trail, while section hikers take on a portion. Then there's folks like DeAndre Bryant, spending just a few hours on the trail for his first hike ever.
A lot of people, a lot of friends of mine, clients of mine, they go hiking, and I just hear the stories, and it's good to actually experience it.
The trail presents both mental and physical challenges as through hikers tackle ever-changing weather, terrains, and elevations. But each new view on the horizon brings a new view on life.
It's just knowing that you can get anything put in front of you and you're just going to push through. Any rainy day, any big mountain, any river crossing, you just push through it every day, and it's a really rewarding thing.
Back at the hostel, Heather is well rested and ready to continue her journey. In a few months, she'll have to find a new job. But this experience is teaching the teacher to take one step at a time.
I have worked hard my whole life, and I just feel like this is a dream and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I won't regret, and I can always find another job.
So whether you're a Heather or a DeAndre, experiencing the trail is a must. For Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk. Coming up, It feels good to give back to your community, and volunteers are now needed for a great effort happening next month.
And we're going virtual at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions on the water slide. Find out what it's like to ride this slide in virtual reality.
The Great Pocono Raceway Air Show is back, and the best seat in the house is right here.
Be thrilled by the Geico Sky Tigers and the United States Air Force Thunderbirds. Prepare for some extreme speed. Go to PoconoAirshow.com for tickets.
Inside this 54,000 square foot building is your one-stop shop for all things motorcycles. Pocono Mountain Harley-Davidson has everything from Harley merchandise to a full custom shop where your dream ride can come to life with help from the legendary Rick Petco. Visit PoconoHD.com, where it's better in the mountains.
We're about to return to school. Summer is over, and we're going to find out what East Stroudsburg School District is doing about DEI.
DEI itself stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as a district, we have a very diverse student population and community. So it's important for us to raise the awareness of everyone about people that are different than us, and getting to know things that are great about different cultures and different people in the area, and learning from each other's experiences.
This is how they are developing this initiative.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, we want to bring people together. We have to provide a space in the school for students and staff to be able to engage in conversations that help to build that awareness.
We talked with trainee Laurie, the diversity, equity, and inclusion coach for the district.
I train staff in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which includes implicit bias, cultural awareness, culture and discipline, and different areas to help staff see where they came from and how that can affect how they engage with students. I do that by having lots of conversations. I have people explain where they came from, because your background can help you understand where you are and how the differences affect other people.
The reactions of people that have been trained have been eye-opening.
And I've had people tell me that they feel hopeful, that they have hope now, where they have seen some of these things over the years, but they never knew that there was actually people working to talk about some of these topics.
There is also going to be an elective class that will cover these topics.
We do have a new multicultural history class, an elective that was created that allows students to be able to engage in history at different levels with different groups of people who have been marginalized.
Dr. Damari Bonilla Rodriguez is one of the pioneers of this project.
DEI has been what I call a sexy term, right? Everybody's talking about it because of social unrest, because of issues that we've seen in the news, and everybody feels like they have to be talking about the topic, which is true. But for those of us that have been doing the work, that understand the value of being able to serve populations effectively by being culturally competent, by making cultural adaptations, we know that it's not just something that you do to check off the box, but that it really means serving communities effectively, providing a quality education for all students from diverse backgrounds.
All the school levels from K to 12 can benefit from the different programs that the school district is offering.
We want to be able to get that information in their hands. We are creating brochures. We're going to include that in our Code of Student Conduct this year, where there'll actually be a resource in there for parents, and every parent gets a copy of that, or every family gets a copy of that, so that they will have a list of resources that they can access for any of those supports.
Now we know more about diversity, equality, and inclusion, and how important it is for our community. Happy return back to school. Cristina Luna for Pocono Television Network.
Beautiful nature surrounds us here in the Poconos, but unfortunately, sometimes the sites are spoiled by trash. But you can help clean the community. The Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau is organizing its next Pick Up the Poconos Day on Saturday, September 25th. But before we tell you more about that, let's take a quick look back at our last cleanup in April.
Your health has never been more important. That's why Lehigh Valley Health Network is making it easier than ever to take control with MyLVHN, your digital health partner. MyLVHN allows you to schedule appointments right from the palm of your hand, message your doctor questions, and even see an LVHN provider from the comfort of your home through video visits. With MyLVHN, you have on-demand access to your health anytime, anywhere. To learn more or to sign up, visit lvhn.org/mylvhn.
Hey, have you been looking for a great job that pays well with great perks?
Check it out. The Poconos has great jobs available right now.
And for many positions, you don't need prior experience. How cool is that?
You can do hotel registration, cashier, dining service, or even a lifeguard.
If you're looking for great pay and fun while you're doing it, the Poconos is the place to be.
So get on board. Go to PoconoMountains.com/jobs and start working today.
Kalahari Resorts and Conventions here in the Poconos has taken one of its water slides and made something new. But to understand it, you'll have to see it for yourself. Welcome to the safari, where you'll run wild with animals. Or enter a new galaxy and soar through space. Even get up close to a fire-breathing dragon.
When you went down the things, it felt like you were actually there, and it was so cool.
This is America's first and only virtual reality water slide. That's right, it's here in the Poconos.
As soon as you put it on, I was a little shocked and looked around. It was definitely an interesting experience.
The 40-second VR experience comes alive on the Anaconda, one of Kalahari's already existing tube slides.
I thought it was really cool. It's a new experience. You can go with or without the VR headset.
Kalahari partnered with Ballast Technologies, a San Francisco-based company that came up with the VR slide concept 4 years ago. Ballast has brought virtual reality to 5 other water slides across Europe and Asia.
It's a joy to work on, and for us to be able to go all around the world and to do this, but to bring it back home here to the United States is a big joy for us.
The installation process took several months and included adding sensors on the Anaconda.
Let's do safari.
Whether you choose the safari, space, or snowy dragon experience, all 3 were developed specifically for Kalahari.
So everything is synchronized, and there's no motion sickness when you're going down, because the visuals match up with what you're physically feeling perfectly.
Kalahari Resorts and Conventions boasts the country's largest indoor water park. In addition to the water park and its 17 slides, enjoy an arcade, spa, fine dining restaurants, and outdoor adventure courses.
You know, we like to say whether you're 2 or 82, we have something for everyone.
Back on the Anaconda, riders are ready for an out-of-this-world adventure as Kalahari rides the wave into a new era.
It's been a really big hit so far, and we're really excited to see where it goes.
Wow, that is such a cool and unique experience,
Yeah.
and you can only find that right here in the Pocono Mountains. And it's really easy. All you have to do when you're buying a Kalahari pass is to tell them you want to add on the VR experience, and you can ride as many times as you want.
That sounds awesome, Brianna, to have that virtual reality experience at Kalahari. And so many students here throughout the Pocono Mountains had their own virtual experiences this past school year, but coming up to the new school year, we wish them a lot of safety and success as they go back into the classrooms throughout the 4-county region. We will be back ourselves with Pocono Mountains Magazine next month, but in the meantime, give us a follow on social media at Pocono TV Network. That's at Pocono TV Network on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And thank you so much for watching this episode. We'll see you again next month. I'm Brianna Strunk.
And I'm Jim Hamill. Have a great one.